Good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5-Minute Morning Miner, live from Cape Town and the mining Indaba. Morning, Paul. How are you?
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, actually. I was really quite early to bed last night. It was midnight, so that's early for people down here because they all seem to be partying and not really doing that much work, unfortunately. But we're seeing Ollie, of course, is busy working very hard because he has to, because I'm keeping an eye on him. Anyway, let's go to the news today. Well, actually, I will touch base a little bit at the end of this, maybe, on what the top companies so far we've seen at Mining Indaba. But let's go into the news, because actually, funny enough, the news today is something I've also been talking down at Indaba, which the one I wanted to talk with you, Paul, about is Guanajuato silver, which we obviously talk about quite a lot on this podcast. But there's new news out today, isn't there?
Yes, news out from Guanajuato Silver. That's the new Mexico silver producer listed on the TSX. They have done a drawdown of $7.5 million on their precious metal prepayment facility that they had arranged back in March with OCIM Precious Metals out of Switzerland. The facility
and
has
by the way, Paul, they're actually OCIM are actually down here at Indaba. I was talking to them last night, so they're very excited by this project.
Yes, I know. They tend to be pretty selective on the kind of projects they go after. So it doesn't surprise me that they're surprised.
Well, I met them at the Baker McKenzie party, and actually Baker McKenzie are doing quite a lot of the legal work as well for Guanajuato Silver. It's definitely that there's a feeling that this is going to become a major company.
Well, that's good to hear that there's a lot of positive vibes around the company down there, because they seem to be doing everything appropriately and according to schedules that we've been anticipating here for Guanajuato to get the El Cubo mine and the El Pinguico mine operating at a steady state. It's still an ongoing process, and this $7.5 million draw is a part of that working capital requirement for appropriate cash flows while they get that underway. But it's good news there.
Okay, what else you got, Paul?
We've got Geodrill, which is a West African-based drilling company. They reported their Q1 results yesterday, where they had generated record revenue of $33.4 million.
Paul, is that your phone going?
That's a phone going. Yes, I think so.
Yeah, just turn it off, okay?
It's off.
Right, carry on with the podcast. Sorry about that, all listeners.
It was a rise of 9% on their record according to Q1 2021 as a comparison. 31% of revenue was the EBITDA number, which came in at 10.4 million. And they've increased their total rig fleet to 74 rigs because of the increase in activity both in West Africa, as well as a nice size contract that they have with Centamin down on the Sukari gold mine in Egypt.
Yeah, Geodrill also on the TSX. So that's two TSX companies we just touched base on. Maybe worth just quickly mentioning, I wouldn't go through all the detail, Paul, but Ceres Mineral Resources, which is a London company, and they're based out, aren't they, in Cyprus? And there's a whole load of people looking. There's about 3 companies, I think, out in Cyprus. Maybe time for a bit of consolidation.
Yes, they had reported some of their first batch results from the Cambia Campitas project license in Cyprus. Just partial assays back yet at this point, where whole rock analysis assays aren't back completely yet at this point. But they are showing some good gold values in some of these channel samples, like 5 to 7 grams per ton in several of the samples here. And they had a total of 9 samples grade above 1 gram out of the total of 12 samples, which graded better than 0.5. So it's early stage here, and they have discovered a Gossan, which is about 600 meters long southeast of the Cambia pit, that they're definitely going to put some drill holes into.
Okay. I think we ought to have a quick mention also. Shanta Gold, which is on AIM, and gold producer obviously in Tanzania. They had some results today, didn't they?
Yes, they sure did. Final results out today for them with revenue of 103.6 million, which is actually down quite a bit from last year's 147 million. And the gross profit had fallen by about 50% to $26 million US. Average selling price for the year was up nicely, though, at $1,800 an ounce, whereas it was shy of $1,500 an ounce last year. And the debt has been reduced on the company to just $2.4 million, and while they have paid off completely their $10 million convertible loan. That's all in very good positioning in order to get this Singita mine, which is currently under construction as their second large operation, into first production by Q1 of 2023. So making good progress here, but we would like to see better total overall sales, of course, with the normalizing of these COVID issues over time.
Okay, thanks. I mean, turning away from the east coast of Africa to the west coast of Africa, if you're interested, Ollie met with Turaso Gold yesterday at the Mining Indaba 1-to-1.
That sounds interesting there. That's a good situation that I've been following now and then over in West Africa. Did he learn anything new?
Yeah, no, he's full of information, and I'm sure we'll be having a little chat with him too in the future. But there's a little top tip coming out of Mining Indaba. Finally, also for anybody who was reading the Straits Times this morning over in Asia, it's a Singapore newspaper. There was a very interesting article actually about South Korea looking for supply of tungsten in the West. They're very concerned about China having control of the market. Obviously, we talk a lot about tungsten. I don't know if you saw that one, Paul. I'm not sure you're a regular reader of the Straits Times, but I am, of course.
Yeah, I did see that article. It was a lot of talk about trying to get that Shandong tungsten mine, which is in South Korea, back in production, which has been idle for more than 30 years or so. But that being said, there just isn't enough tungsten yet ready for development and production around the world. So diversification of supply with these interrupted supply chains around the world is causing issues for lots of people.
Very good, Paul. I think you saw it actually because I forwarded it on to you, but I'm glad you're reading my emails. On that note, we've been talking for 10 minutes nearly, which is far too long, so we'll call it a day there. And I think you're speaking with David tomorrow. But we will give you more updates live from Cape Town. So thanks, Paul.
Very good. Thanks.